Okay, let me help you understand how to subtract and add when we're dealing with negatives. So I'm going to use this metaphor with like a video game. So let's say you have a camp of soldiers that swore alliance to the plus sign. So let's say, for example, that this one is our plus camp. Okay, so all the soldiers of this camp are pluses. Okay, let's make this camp of the pluses is on the right side. Okay, we have an exact camp and soldiers that are negative. That's what we say that -1 and 1 they have the same magnitude. And that's very important because -1 and 1 have the same distance distance from 0. So we can say like they have the same power. That means that when one negative soldier fights a positive soldier, they cancel each other. Okay? And that gives us an answer of 0. We have one soldier. Okay? So let's say let's make these guys, let's make them negative. So let's say each of these guys is worth 5 negative guys. So you can see 5 times 3 is 15, but they're negatives. And that's a way I want you to start thinking about this. It's the same magnitude. So you don't have to start thinking, oh, -5 times 3. Just think 5 times 3, 15, and understand they are part of the negative camp. So after you do 5 times 3, you add the 15. So basically, let's say the negative side has 15 soldiers. And this guy, or the positive guys, only have 5. So in other words, they ask you -15 plus 5 equals what? So the way to understand this is that these 5 soldiers are gonna they're gonna kill each other, right? And you're left with -10. I don't know why I wrote 0 here. Me erase that, and we are left with -10. Other way that I really want you to start thinking about these problems after you get the idea of like negatives and positives, how they cancel each other, and how you should basically in your head have the same process where you do 5 times 3 is 15, -5 times 3. I know it's also 15. I just want to change the sign because it's only one negative. Now, something very important here is that a lot of kids they don't see it well enough, but it's easier if they flip it around. So another tip that might help you is just write it as 5 minus 15, and then you can see that the positives are going to lose the battle and it's going to be negative. Okay, now let me show you like the steps of how I do this. So the first step is to know who's going to win. So ask myself who's going to win. So looking at this, I see that soldiers, I have more positive soldiers. So the positives are going to win to answer that question. So I do that, I like to flip it if I see the positive first. So I like to put my positive first, and then that becomes something that everybody have seen before, and that is not complicated. Where a lot of us get complicated is here. We overthink it. So we know that it's going to be a plus. Then we flip it. And 9 minus 5 is 4. Okay? I'm building this um, channel with a lot of just different way of thinking of math, especially for like for example, I have some kind of like dyslexia, so for me it's really good to just have easy steps and like out of the way ways to see math, especially like video games and just related with kids. So if you like this channel and the approach, please hit subscribe and give me a like. I'm gonna be uploading more. So let's say, for example, something traditionally. They can do like negative 32 plus 4 minus 9 minus 2. So if you know this is about two camps, the positives and the negatives, you might just want to add all the positives first. And I know it's only one guy alone, so wow, he's going to lose that battle for sure. And then I just add the negatives. So 32 plus 11, and see how I see plus? Because they're just 32 soldiers, but they're negative. But in my head, I'm doing 32 soldiers plus other 11 soldiers is 43. And it happens that they're negative soldiers. Now, I like to put my 4 first, my positive first. So I do 4 minus 43. I know the negative is going to win. So basically, in my head, I'm doing 43 minus 4. And I know the answer here is positive, right? But that's what I'm doing in my head. And I get 39. But I know the answer has to be negative. So as you can see, I don't know if you're in high school or getting ready to high school. These videos are for getting ready for high school. If you're a ninth grader, a lot of the success on math is how you approach your problem, what questions are you asking yourself, and like little tips like what I just did here. Just accepting that I'm actually thinking this way to get to 39. It's a little bit easier than to think it the other way around. So hopefully this video was useful to you. Give me a like and a subscribe. This library is going to keep growing little by little. All right. See you in the next one.